Can somebody tell me what the F is going on in Dallas right now? I'm trying to understand what the hell is going on in Dallas. Because, I'm a big fan of the movie Major League. Joe Boo. In that movie, the premise was the owner wanted to sell the team. So she tried to do everything she could to make sure they failed and that team was the laughing stock so she could move them elsewhere. At least that had a purpose for them being dysfunctional and banding together and becoming a team and winning in the movie. But I almost feel like that's what the hell we're doing right now. Is there a plan here? Because I'm trying to understand. There is no accountability at all in Dallas. I sympathize with people. I understand what a David Irving is going through because I ended up having to raise 2 kids on my own. A 5-year-old son, Michael, that you know, and his sister, 3 years old. People sympathized. Man, sorry you got to do that. Sorry you don't have money to pay for a babysitter, but if you can't do the job, I'll get somebody else who will. It wasn't this, it's okay, go ahead and miss work and we'll get it done. No. The bottom line is you have to do the job. For some reason, the Cowboys are coddling David Irving because he's still not at practice today. We got 1 practice after he came off suspension for drug suspension. 1 practice last week because he had to deal with family issues. I sympathize. I understand. I've been through that. And apparently, he does that because, guess what? There's no accountability. And why should he think there's accountability? When we can go through from half of last season with the worst offense in the history of the Dallas Cowboys and continue it into this year, and still, the only person who's been held accountable has been Dez Bryant. That's it. That's the list. And instead of putting Scott Linehan on notice and saying your job is on the line, you give him more power. You let him bring in the assistant coaches. You let him bring in Kellen Moore and say, you're now my guy. Nepotism. Instead of putting somebody in to do the job. And that's okay because apparently, as we can all see, as plain as our face, that the offense is not working. Your plan of getting a bunch of guys together as wide receivers is not working. The fact that you are trying to run an offense with Tony Romo style of play when you have a guy who clearly is different is not working. If you're a coach, you have to understand you have a philosophy. You have a way you want to do things. But you have to be able to roll with the punches and work with what you have. That's why we were 4-12 in 2015. Because everything was set up for Tony Romo and Tony Romo only. And when Tony Romo went out, it was okay. You lost your franchise quarterback. You only won 1 game with other guys. Don't worry about it. You're good. You're not held accountable. It's somebody else's fault. The fact that you don't realize that Brandon Wheaton can't throw to his left and you continue to try and throw to his left where you throw pick after pick shows you can't roll with the punches. Look at the statistics, okay? Don't give me this crap that quarterbacks, Dak is inaccurate, so he's useless. Cam Newton has the same rap, too, of being inaccurate, yet he was the league MVP and has been to a Super Bowl. Why? Because they figured out what he can do well and make plays. And so you've lost the locker room, Jerry. You've got guys questioning what is going on. Alan Hearns, a guy who was at Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's never been a really offensively great team. He's questioning your play calling. He is questioning your play calling just like Dez Bryant did, just like Bryce Butler did, just like everybody is right now. From the time you didn't go for it on fourth down, when you keep running the same lame-ass plays with no creativity, the players are giving up on your coaching staff. And you have to make a move to try and stop it now. If you do not, they're packing it in. They got no faith. You have to fire Scott Linehan. You have to go ahead and do something to show the players that you are listening, that you care about them, and that you are willing to make a difference on this team. Nobody believes in the offense you are running. When Dak Prescott is running no huddle, you notice how the team plays better. Why? Because he's not getting those plays called in from Scott Linehan. And I don't understand how you could fire a Jimmy Johnson. I don't understand how you can fire a Tom Landry, yet you keep a Scott Linehan who has never won jack. We're not talking about him working under, Bill Parcells or him working under Bill Belichick, okay? We're talking about him working under Mike Tice. We're talking about him being with the Lions. We're talking about him running the greatest show on turf into the ground and being fired. We're not talking about the cream of the crop stock here. We're talking about just a guy who has lost the locker room, who is over his head and can't handle the pressure. Now, I get it. I get it that you can't just fire Jason Garrett right now and Scott Linehan. It's too late to change the offense. All you can do is tweak it. Because you can fire Jason Garrett tomorrow and Scott Linehan, and unfortunately, who are you going to have take over that offense? Sanjay Lal, your running back coach? Offensive line coach? The best thing you can do for this Dallas Cowboys is to at least send a message to the players. Fire Scott Linehan. Make Jason Garrett call the plays. I know Jason Garrett failed. We were 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and he was on the hot seat then when he was calling plays. But your players question your play calling. They don't believe it can work. It won't. You got to do something. And you have to do something about David Irving. We're talking about him missing OTAs, minicamp, training camp, and showing up out of shape, suspended for drug use, and now when he should be here fighting for a position to play and be an impact and part of this team, he continues to miss practice. No accountability. I said our Cowboys are beginning to get as dysfunctional as the Raiders under Al Davis. At this point, it's beginning to look like we're going to be more dysfunctional. I'm just trying to understand the plan here. I got nothing. I just don't know what happened to the Jerry Jones that was the Maverick. The guy who had because right now it seems like you don't have any. And it's just whatever happens, it's okay. David Irving not at practice. Players questioning the offense. This team is headed south in a hurry. I was hoping today for my birthday that this would be a good day for our Cowboys. Yeah. I'll see you guys soon.